What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Andre Dorsey from DM Gaming, which just stands for Dorsey Made Gaming, man. Just trying to get some stuff started here today. What I want to talk about today is uh, remember in yesterday's video, I talked about kind of a little bit how the Frostbite engine with Madden could affect story mode. And today, I want to talk about how that same Frostbite engine can affect franchise mode. Now, in order for us to understand how this could affect franchise mode, we have to ask ourselves, what are we looking at with franchise mode right now? You know what I'm saying? Like where do we stand right now with franchise mode? I feel like Madden franchise mode right now, it's not bad. Could it be better? Yes. How could it be better? Well, first of all, the commentary. The commentary, man. Madden could be so much better in franchise mode if we had, like they have in NHL and even the MLB The Show, you'll have certain games that air on different networks. I think that that would be a very logical, a very efficient, and more engaging tool to throw into franchise mode. Because, like I said, whenever you want to play a game of football, basketball, whatever, if you're playing a simulation style sports game, you want to feel as if you're looking at it on TV. That draws you in even more. What better excitement do you have than having a Monday night game on ESPN or something like that, or a Sunday game on Fox? If you're playing with the Cowboys, they play on Fox a lot. Having games on CBS, NFL Network on your Thursday night games and things of that nature. Those things are really prudent. Those things are really cool to have. And I feel like with the Frostbite engine, that's a possibility. I like the social media feed, like where you're looking at like what Skip Bayless saying and what people saying about you. I really like that factor. Another way that the Frostbite engine can improve on franchise mode is the practice and the training. It could take it deeper. Like right now, practice mode is improved. It's pretty cool. You can actually choose what drills to run to set up for the game plan. And I'll get to that next because that's another point. But you could choose that, practice mode, instead of it being generic and they're in full pads, like I said, put them in spat. Have the choice to. And I'm gonna steal from NFL 2K with Terrell Owens. I think it was 2K 7 or something like that. The one with Terrell Owens on the cover. Let's steal from that, because you had an option in that game to either practice in full pads, or practice in basically shell, which is shoulder pads and shorts. You may have like the thigh pad shorts or whatever like that on it. Let's steal some pages from that. You had the option to set up and design workouts for your players. You could have them condition. You could have them lift weights. You can have them watch film. If a player's and all of those things affected a particular player's stats. Let's utilize that with that Frostbite engine, and let's put it into the game to where you could do those things. Imagine a Madden franchise mode where you got to choose what type of practice you had on what day of the week. Now, that's where the gameplay comes in. It can improve franchise mode by giving more depth to the game planning. There was a mode in Madden where you set up your weekly schedule. Same thing in the 2K version of NFL football. Have that. That is a possibility with the Frostbite engine, because this is what I'm saying. Number one, the game is only going to be on next gen. So you have a lot more depth to work with. You're working with consoles like the Xbox One S, the PlayStation 4 Pro. Tremendous depth in those consoles. Then you're working with the new Frostbite engine, which offers an enormous amount of depth. You don't have to sacrifice gameplay and stuff with this engine. If you look at FIFA 17 that ran it, they still had the packs, they still had the franchise mode. There are so many teams in FIFA, it's crazy. So many different leagues, and you had a story mode, and the graphics were still on point. Amazing. So franchise mode in Madden with the Frostbite engine, you could have that. You could have where you set up your game plan for the week. what days you're going to be in pads, what days you're going to lift weights, what days you're going to condition. And like I said, if a player say their awareness is lacking or you want them to have the edge on a competition, say if you have a cornerback that's suspect that's going to have to go against a top-notch wide receiver, hey, you can put that guy in there to watch a little bit of more film than the other players. That way he can be ready, raise his awareness just a little bit so he's on top of his game come Sunday or Thursday or Monday night. Those are some things that you can implement with the Frostbite engine. Why? Because it gives you more capability, gives you more power to do those things. Don't get me wrong, Madden has done some things like that in their past video games. But I'm saying with the consoles that we have today and this new Frostbite, well, not new Frostbite engine, but the Frostbite engine that EA is going to be putting and building Madden 18 in, then you're going to have an unprecedented amount of possibilities with this. You're basically getting a Madden built from the ground up because it's a completely different engine too as well. So a lot of the stuff that plagued Madden 17 and before, they have an opportunity to fix those things with the Frostbite engine. Another thing that we can see in franchise mode, like I said, the practices, being able to schedule the practices, if we're going to be in full pads, if we're going to be in spat, and how those things are going to affect your team both mentally and physically. That's another thing. With the game plan and stuff like that, have a certain stat of your players' physical abilities, physical standings, as well as their mental. Add a mental attribute to the game. And I know they call it toughness, but no, man, let's add because let's be honest, some of the elite NFL players right now, they are elite because they have a tremendous mental stability, man. I mean, it's one of them things where that's a make or break. Everybody in the NFL has talent. What separates the good from the great is the mind. Tom Brady, a lot of people might not like Tom Brady, but that son of a gun is mentally tough. Ray Lewis, Hall of Fame, retired. Hey, mentally tough. So these are some things that we have to pay attention to, that we have to look out for in these games. I'm really hoping that they implement these things into the game, because if they do, man, the franchise mode just got that much deeper. Another thing is the scouting. Now, I talked about in a previous video how the scouting could work as far as the story mode. Now, you could bleed that over in the franchise mode, the connected careers, by implementing a system in scouting to where, yeah, you can still keep the point system, but it'd be really cool to be able to actually go and attend and watch watch the players' pro days, or at least have a system to where you can send them off. Kind of like take a page out of NCAA with recruiting. Kind of throw that into the scouting aspect where, like I said, you can go to different pro days as well as the NFL Combine and scout these players. I would like to see like the Senior Bowl or, something like that. But like I said, they would have to get the licensing from those college teams to be able to use their logos in the game. So I'm not counting on that. But as far as scouting, having that element to scout the way that you really can, not necessarily going to like it is now where you just spend some points and unlock attributes. No, like I want a in-depth scouting to where you go to pro days, you watch these pro days events, and if they're not going to show the pro days events, at least like have it to where you can attend it and see the results of that. Also, you get to do the scouting combine. Show some highlights from the scouting combine. Have the commentator break up the scouting combine, showing highlights from players that are doing some of the top stuff like the 40 and stuff like that. I would like to see that. Also, what you could do is be able to select maybe 3 players out of the draft to actually sit, like your top 3 draft picks or something, be able to sit down and actually have an interview with them to unlock their mental rating and see where they're at and stuff like that. That would be so awesome. And that's all at the beginning of the season and during the season. Another way that the Frostbite engine could open up possibilities with the franchise mode is that whenever you're like towards the end of the season and things like that, or like the off season. See, this is something that in Madden I feel like they can improve on. Like I said, I want it to be true to real life. The off season, that you could that you can monitor your players, or not necessarily monitor them, but that your players, and I guess this is something more along the lines for story mode off season, but have it to where the players can still work out and stuff to get better in the off season. I know a lot of players rest and stuff like that, but there's a lot of players that put in a lot of work during the off season. Have some kind of off season training that you can do that's not mandatory, that you can, give players the options to do, and that give the players the ability to say, nah, I'm not going to do it, or that they're going to do it. That's going to give you, as a coach in franchise mode, you're going to say, that guy shows up to every workout. He may not be the best player as far as attributes, but he shows up to every workout. He's putting in time extra on film. I'm going to put him on the field, and then that player blossoms. Like, that would be so awesome to have in the game. Also, endorsements. That, like I said, that bleeds into story mode as well, but you could have it in franchise mode as well, to where, you have to manage your players with their endorsements and things of that nature. It's not a whole lot that you could just truly add to franchise mode. There are, but there aren't. There's little nitpick stuff, So to review over that again, the Frostbite engine, what you could add to franchise mode is a more in-depth game planning with practices, workouts, film study, things of that nature. Endorsement deals for the players. Have other teams be able to offer the head coach a job like that, because that is liable. Things like that do happen. Same way they do in college football, wherever they have the coach carousel or corral or whatever they call it at the end of the year and stuff like that, after their contracts are over and stuff like that. Have that in Madden as well, because you do have coaches that leave to go to other teams and are offered positions at other teams. I would really like to see that, and even be offered an owner position or something like that. If I'm a coach in franchise mode, have it to where I have a budget and where I can get enough budget to buy me an NFL team and then become the owner. That would be really cool as well. All in all, there's a ton of potential with franchise mode with the Frostbite engine. And Madden, like I said, that's another step in the right direction that can make Madden an awesome game. I don't doubt that the gameplay would be cool. The gameplay will be improved because the Frostbite engine is a lot smoother than the Ignite engine. If you play FIFA, the 16 and 17, there's a big difference. You can even feel a difference in the controls. And soccer is a tough game. I mean, you really have to be on your P's and Q's a little bit more than Madden, because it is what it is. It's soccer, but it's something that's going to be implemented. It's something the Frostbite engine is happening. All I'm doing is stating possibilities of how good it could be, the potential that it has, and that hopefully, if EA is listening, they can implement some of these things. Now, I will say this, that Madden does come out in August, so chances are that they're pretty much at this point in time putting the finishing touches on the game. They've pretty much already got the game developed, so I'm pretty sure we'll see. They're at the point right now probably where they're doing more marketing. They're getting ready for EA Play and E3. They're going to release the trailer. Then after that, on a weekly schedule, they're going to release different gameplay features of the game, as well as, they do the live stream and stuff like that. So they're pretty much done with the game. I think they're just putting up the finishing touches and getting ready to roll out with the promotional things for Madden. Like I said, Madden is available for pre-order. It's right now, it's not on 360 and PS3. It's only on Xbox One, PS4, and I think PC could be. But all in all, it's going to be an awesome game. That's all I got for today. Till next time, y'all. Peace.